So when we're on this journey with our clients or with our team members, there is processes where we're always doing the same thing over and over again and trying to get the same data. Well, forms is a really great way to do that. And so I want to show you how to build out a form. I also want to show you how to connect that form to a database if that is something you want to do. So let's go ahead and tap in and learn how to do that. So there are so many use cases for creating a form or why you will create a form. So let's just say this is just a form that we want to kind of just create and embed in a website, or just be able for people to kind of just fill out a form, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new page, and that's down here, okay? And you have multiple options. I'll just create the page. And what's cool is that there's options here that you can click on called form templates down at the bottom of this page. But and so you can click that form, right? And then you want to title the form. So let's just say the form is onboarding form. Okay. So we can add our first question. We can add a description right here. Welcome. This is a quick form to gather your basic information and get this party started, right? Great. Cool. Question number one, we can say, and there's options that you can choose from. So here's a little menu. When I clicked on it, it appeared, or you can click the three dots and it appears. So let me close this shelf. All right. So three dots. Now you can make this a required question. So if you know it's a question you do not want them to skip, require it, and you'll see an asterisk that appears here. Another thing is if you want to add a description to this question, go into more details, show an example, you can add that right here. Okay. For this one, we're not going to do that. Long answers. If you know that's going to be a long answer, it automatically defaults to a short answer. So if you want a long answer, you can toggle that on. Question type. There's different types of question types. So text, multiple choice, dates, person, all of the above, right? And then we have linked. We have a view linked property. So if you wanted this to actually be connected to another property, you can go ahead and connect it to a property, right? And then sync with property names. So renaming a question also renames its linked database property. So if it is connected to a database, you want to make sure that it's titled properly, okay? Or you can have it synced up. If you toggle this off, it won't do that, right? It won't change the name in that database that's connected to, okay? Move question, you can move it up and down. You can also do it by just clicking it and dragging it, which is great. And then delete question. All right, so we've gone over the basic menu sections that you can have for each question, okay? So let's go ahead and fill out this form. It's pretty easy. We're gonna do a name. So we're gonna do type, and we're gonna have name. So what's interesting is you can do person, but the thing is that this is gonna toggle down all the members all the guests and members that you have in your workspace. So if this is going out to somebody that does not share your workspace, this is not going to work, okay? So what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna do text, or we're gonna wanna say name, and then we're going to add another question, and we're going to say we want their email, and we're going to do another one where it is their phone number. And then we are going to make this required. We're gonna make this required. That's important. And then our question is going to be in the what is one goal you would like to accomplish in the next 30 days, right? And then you can make this a long form. So you would change this type to text, and then you have a long answer and have them answer. Cool. So this is all good to go. Something very quick. As you see, it's really simple of how you can create these things, right? Okay. Okay. So what's interesting is that, of course, like with Notion, there's a page for everything. So we created this page in this form. You're probably going to want to call this onboarding form, right? You're going to want to title it. You're going to want it to be housed somewhere because right now it defaults into your private section. You probably want to put it where your company stuff is so that you can quickly find it. And then also with every section, there's a form builder, right? And then there's a response area. The form builder is where you just build out the form and make edits. Now, one thing about this is that once you share it out and someone fills it out, if you go in here and make changes after they fill it out, you're gonna have to resend it again. But also understand that as soon as I add another question, and if I share this out with somebody, they will get the new question, okay? All of the responses will be here, right? So you can easily see that. Now, where do I get the link, right? Great question. So you come here and you can share it, go to share, and you can decide if you want to share it with anyone in this workspace, if you want it to be public or no access, okay? Public is we're sending it out to people that do not have access to our workspace. Only people in the workspace gets this one and no access at all. We're going to want to make this public. This is a public one. And then you can take off the branding and stuff like that. If you want to embed this into like your website, here's a way that you can do that. And then also here's the copy link. So this is the link that you're going to want to copy and paste wherever to send it off, maybe an email, or you want to paste it in your like a Notion landing page, whatever the case may be. You can go ahead and place the URL wherever you would like. And this is what they're going to see, right? So you can go and view what it's going to look like. Now, what if they submit it, right, and you want a certain type of messaging? Well, this is where this setting bar comes into play. You're going to want to click the settings, and you're going to see where you can do some more stuff. You can add more questions. You can set up an automation. Maybe whoever fills out the form gets an email, right? Or you can also set up the submit screen. So you can change the color of the button. So we can do this. We could say this is the submit button right here. And this is what the submit button is going to look like. So we can say book call. Okay. And then we can have the confirmation title be click. And then we can grab a booking link. I'm going to grab a onboarding booking link. And I can paste that booking link right here. You can also write anything you want down here, put an arrow to the booking link, whatever you would like. Okay, awesome. So now we can save this. And now when somebody presses the submit button, they'll get this message. So let's actually see what it looks like. So I'm going to copy this and open it up into another browser. So we're going to come here. We're going to say Micah, email test at gmail.com 00000 test. Okay. Then we're going to say book call. And then this is the message. Click link below to book the call. I can click this link and it opens up into where they can book an onboarding call. All right. So this is a great workflow for people who have somebody pay, a form gets submitted, gets sent to them. They fill out the onboarding call. They book the onboarding call right here. Perfect, right? Great workflow. Okay. So this is one way that you can create a form. Another way you can create a form is actually in a database. So you will want to go to that database and do this same process. So let's just have a database that we can go to. So here is my demo headquarters, and this is where we're going to kind of play in. So we can go here, close this up, and then we're going to go to this plus sign, and we're going to want to create the form. And then a form builder will show up. But remember, these properties need to be similar, or you need to toggle that thing off. So if I create a form here in a database, right, in a database, it could take from all the properties and create 16 questions. You can do that, or you can say start from scratch. Those 16 questions are going to basically be the properties that can naturally fill in, right? So let's just see what it looks like. So client's name, business, contacts. Nope, we'll delete this, which is great. Profile picture, if you want them to add a profile picture, great. We'll delete this. We'll delete that. Journey timeline. They can pick how long they're going to be here. I don't think that they need to fill those things out. Time zone is good. Meetings we can delete. But maybe it'll be faster if you actually add up all the properties that you want. Delete. Contact URL, we can delete that. Basic package offer. So if there's an offering you want them to select, great. I like that. So then task, priority, they don't need to see those things as internal. Phone number, we can drag on up here. And then also we are going to change this. So on and off track, great. So this is all the things I would want them to see. Again, you want to place the title and create the title, client onboarding, great. You can put the description here. You can also make things required, or if it needs to be a long answer, change those things. If you want to continue to add more stuff, you can go ahead and do that. Just know that it's going to add a property to your client database properties, right? Because it's going to fill those things in. From there, you can share the form, copy, and send it over, okay? So that is another way that you can create a form that actually connects to the database, because the first one we created didn't connect to a database. It was just a page, and it already had its own database, right? Because it had the response area. But if you actually want this to talk to one of your major databases like clients or meetings or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. So these are some of the ways that you can create a form. Hopefully this is helpful. If you want to have more videos like this, feel free to please like this, subscribe. This lets me know, keep going with this type of content, okay? Other than that, see you later.